All right, everyone, if you're looking to buy a home in the Edmonton real estate market, you're gonna wanna check out this video because in this video, I'm gonna be sharing some tips for home buyers in 2022 in the Edmonton real estate market. Before we get into things, if you like this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and that helps me know that I'm doing a good job and I should make more videos like this for you. And of course, watching these videos is great. I can give you a lot of good information, but the best way I can help you is if you give me a call or send me an email. You can always reach me by phone or text at 780-819-5508, or you can email me at trevortardif.com. I'll put that information on the screen so you can reach out to me whichever way works best for you. And of course, you can also always go to booktrevornow.com to select a time in my calendar and I'll call you. So without further ado, we'll get into the video. If you've seen some of my other videos, I'll link to those. I've been talking a lot about the market recently and how things are getting a little crazy here in Edmonton. So I wanted to make a video specifically just about giving you some tips if you're a buyer in 2022. The very first tip I got for you is that you should get pre-approved. And this might sound obvious or not exactly something that exciting to hear about, but because the market's getting more competitive, it's definitely more important for you to be pre-approved before you actually go out there and start looking, because otherwise you're going to be at a pretty big disadvantage. So get pre-approved. Now, why should you get pre-approved? Well, there's a number of reasons why you should get pre-approved, but number one is always gonna be so that you know exactly what you can afford. You might have an idea on what you think you can afford based on some of your own calculations or monthly payment amounts, but until you've actually gone through the process and gotten pre-approved, you don't really know what you can afford. So that's always the case, whether you're buying this year or any other year, is you always want to get pre-approved so that you know what you can afford. But also by getting pre-approved, essentially you're getting your ducks in a row and you're ready to make an offer. When the market's more competitive and there's other bidders on properties that are submitting offers, sometimes sellers actually ask for pre-approval letters so that they can help evaluate which one of these buyers is more likely to make this deal actually work. And when you're moving into more of a seller's market, they can get away with that kind of stuff. If it was a buyer's market, they're just gonna be happy to get any offer that they get, and they're not gonna ask questions like that typically. But this is a lot more common in more of a seller's market. So if you're not pre-approved, that would automatically put you at a disadvantage when a home pops up on the market that you want. Even if you think you can make it work in that regular condition period of 10 days to 2 weeks, if you don't have that pre-approval letter and you can't show it, you can't show that you're a solid buyer from the seller's perspective, you might get passed over for someone else. This also enables you to act quickly. So if you don't have your pre-approval and then a really nice property comes up, you want to make an offer on it, you might have some hesitancy if you don't have your pre-approval yet, and then when you're working to try to get that put together, you might miss out on the property. All right, so we've talked about why you should get pre-approved, but next I want to talk about where should you get pre-approved. Now, obviously you've got several options here. A lot of people are comfortable going into their bank that they've been banking with for years, and it's just sort of that automatic, comfortable thing that a lot of people just feel like that's the thing to do. I've been banking at TD or BMO or Scotia, CIBC, Royal Bank, and they just go into their bank and get a pre-approval. You can definitely always do that. It's not my preferred option. Typically, you won't get the best rates from your bank, especially if they don't know that you're comparing them to other options. And you wanna make sure if you do go into your bank, you do more than just getting a pre-qualification. You want an actual pre-approval. Now, it's common for banks, if you just go up and talk to them and maybe they'll look at a few things for you, they'll do a pre-qualification. So they'll just ask you about your income, your debt, some of your other expenses, and then they'll do a calculation based on that and tell you roughly what you could qualify for, essentially. Now, this doesn't count as a pre-approval. They haven't actually asked you for your supporting documentation, so they haven't gotten proof of your income, they haven't verified your credit, they haven't checked some of your other debt payments or, asked for your arm and leg, getting your notice of assessment, everything to make sure that everything is exactly how you've said it is, and they've checked all their boxes and whatnot. A pre-qualification like that is inferior to a pre-approval where they do ask for all that documentation. So make sure that if you do go to your bank, that you actually go through a full pre-approval. Tell them, I want a pre-approval. I want to give you the supporting documentation so that I've got a pre-approval and I can provide a letter to sellers that shows that I'm pre-approved for X amount of dollars. that's what you want to actually have a real pre-approval. You can do that at your bank. It doesn't hurt to do it that route. I actually prefer going to mortgage brokers, and the reason is they can shop the market for you. Whereas if you just go to TD or Scotia, they're just gonna offer you what they have at their interest rates and mortgage terms. But if you go to a mortgage broker, they have access to a bunch of the banks, plus a bunch of other mortgage lenders that you've actually probably never heard of. Companies that are essentially mortgage companies that don't also have like a banking side to them. So those companies often have more competitive rates, and the mortgage broker can look at your specific situation and get you the best deal for you. So whether that's the interest rate or the terms that you're looking at, generally I do find that the mortgage brokers can do a better job than just going to your bank. So if you had to pick between one or the two, I would definitely go with a mortgage broker. I can set you up with a good mortgage broker if you'd like. So if you give me a call at 780-819-5508, or again, shoot me an email or bookTrevorNow.com, I can also help you get in touch with a good mortgage broker. Just like realtors, it has no cost to you to work with a mortgage broker. They get paid when they complete the deal by the lender, so you don't have to worry about having any out-of-pocket expenses. So we've talked about why you should get pre-approved and maybe where you should get pre-approved, but when should you get pre-approved? This one's pretty obvious in case it wasn't noticeable from what I've said already, but I think you should get pre-approved right away. If you are in the market right now, that's one of the first things that you should do. And if you're looking at getting into the market in the next 3 to 6 months, it still doesn't hurt to get pre-approved now and get that ball rolling. In case you're making some assumptions that maybe overestimate or underestimate how much you can get qualified for, getting pre-approved gives you that certainty, and you can also find out if there's any problems. Sometimes there's gonna be something weird with your credit that maybe shouldn't be there, and it can be corrected, but it takes time. This has definitely come up for several clients in the last year or two. So you don't want to risk it. If there's something wrong with your credit or something got reported or didn't get reported that was supposed to, you want to find out as quickly as possible so that you can get it fixed. And sometimes that stuff does take time. So if you leave getting pre-approved to the last minute until you're just about ready, and then you find out, oh dang, they have this thing on my credit that lowered my score, that now increases my interest rate or something like that, you're going to be pretty pissed off. So I recommend getting this done early, even before you're ready. It's just the right thing to do to make sure that you got all your ducks in a row. All right, so we've talked about getting pre-approved, why, where, and when, and we've also talked about how that's gonna benefit you in the market if you're competing with other buyers. You're gonna be able to act quickly, you're gonna be able to put your offer in, and if they want to show proof of your financing power, you can get a letter from your lender that shows that you're pre-approved. So it just sets you up for success and confidence. Now, this kind of leads into the second tip that I've got for home buyers, and that's to act fast. If you're looking at single family homes and you've been watching my other videos, you know that the market for single family homes is going pretty crazy right now. It's not quite the same thing if you're looking at apartment condos or townhouses, although townhouses are starting to heat up as well. So either way, I do think it's still good to be able to act fast. And how do you actually act fast? This can include everything from being ready, willing, and able to go look at properties quickly as soon as they hit the market. So if you're looking at a competitive price point and property type, some of the properties are selling like the first day or 2 or 3 essentially, or if they're not selling, they're going pending, which basically means that they've accepted an offer and you no longer have a shot at that property, unless there's a sale of buyer's home condition, but that's getting rarer and rarer in this market, so I wouldn't bet on that. So the first way that you act fast is basically being prepared to go and look at properties as soon as they hit the market. All right, so that means looking at homes right away. And the best way to do that is to get instant updates. Now, if you're just using Realtor.ca, at most you'll get an update once per day. I hate to break it to you, but Realtor.ca is actually a little slow. My website actually updates faster than Realtor.ca, so when there's a new listing, it ends up on my website faster than it does on Realtor.ca. And even then, my website's still not instantaneous, and I can only get it to essentially email people once per day. That's great if you're not quite ready to go out and look at homes, once per day is just fine. But I can get you set up on the back end of the MLS where essentially as soon as a property that fits your criteria hits the market, you will get emailed instantly. So that means if there's an agent, on their computer, they're uploading the listing, uploading their photos, as soon as they press publish to put it on the MLS, you will literally get emailed almost instantaneously. You'll get an email for each new property that hits the market. If there's a price change, I can set it up that way. You can also get instant updates when stuff sells or goes pending. It's the best way to keep a really good pulse on the market, and that way you'll never miss anything. And when the market's moving quick like this, getting those instant updates, that enables you to see it right away, look at the pictures, find out if it's something that you actually like, and then we can actually book a showing for you to look at it that same day or the next day. That sets you up so you're never gonna miss out on a property. You'll at least have a shot at it. Even if there's gonna be other people writing offers, at least you have a shot. Whereas if you didn't even see the property, you didn't get in to look at it at the first couple days, you might have lost your opportunity altogether and it could just go pending before you've even seen it. So that sucks. It only takes that happening a few times where you've seen a property, you're like, this is perfect. And then all of a sudden it's gone before you've even looked at it. That feeling really sucks. I've had it happen to clients, I've had it happen to me. You don't want that to happen. So the best way to act fast is to basically be prepared with instant email updates. Now, of course, I can help set this up for you. So again, you can reach out to me at 780-819-5508, either by phone or text. You can always email me at trevor@trevortardif.com or go to booktrevornow.com and set up a time on my calendar where I will call you. So let's also continue looking at this whole idea of acting fast. We've talked about getting your instant updates so that you can get out and look at the property right away. Now, obviously, if you've gone and done that and you like the property, you should not dawdle, especially if there's other activity going on. It can be in a matter of hours that somebody else could look at it, and the next thing you know, there's multiple offers. So you need to be able to make decisions quickly. And again, that goes back to tip number one, get pre-approved. If you've gotten pre-approved, we're looking at the property now, you like it, checks all the boxes. Now you want to try to make a decision as soon as possible, because if you don't, you might lose the opportunity to put an offer in before other offers come in, or you might lose the opportunity to put an offer in before other people do and potentially tie up the property before someone else comes along. Obviously, if there's a really hot property, there's really no way to avoid multiple offers sometimes. Even if you get in, you see it like in a matter of hours and you put an offer in, if the seller knows that they're getting a lot of activity, they're gonna wait usually to at least get in the day's showings or the next day's showings to give people time to write their offers. So there's no guarantee that you can get in right away, write an offer, and seal the deal. Maybe unless you make them a really good offer that they can't refuse, kind of thing. But there's gonna be some properties that don't go pending right away. So if you at least get in and you can write your offer, if it doesn't go crazy right away, you could end up not competing with other buyers. Whereas if you've waited 2 or 3 days, or you're mulling it over, you're not so sure about the property, you might miss that opportunity. So the game can change quite quickly between looking at the property and the time that you write an offer. Even just delaying, half a day or a day can actually make a difference in potentially how much you pay for the property. Like if you go and look at the property one day, you could have wrote an offer that day, potentially started negotiating with the seller the same day and potentially come to an agreement if they didn't have any other offers. That opportunity could go out the window the next day if they've got more showings, and then someone else comes along willing to write an offer. And then instead of you just, directly negotiating one-on-one with the seller, now you have to, up the ante a little bit and make your offer more attractive, because now you're competing with someone else. So something to keep in mind. So those were the 2 main tips, but there's also a few questions I wanted to cover as well. So what should home buyers be looking for in a home right now? Obviously, that's gonna be unique to you and what you actually want in a home. But with the market getting more competitive, you should be looking for stuff that fits your main criteria. It has everything that you need. I wouldn't immediately eliminate homes just because they don't have some of your wants, or if you don't like the paint color, or there's some flooring that you don't like. Those are things that can be pretty easy to change. So I'm almost encouraging you not to be as picky initially. Try to see if you can make some other properties work, especially if you're having trouble. Like if you've got a really good idea on what you want, and you just feel like there's nothing coming on the market that fits what we need, maybe you need to adjust your expectations a little bit and look for some of those properties that you could easily change to fit your needs. All right, so who should buyers be talking to? Well, I told you about getting pre-approved, so you should be talking to a mortgage broker or your lender, and you should also be talking to a realtor. And I've given my number a few times here. I'd love for you to reach out to me. I know I can help you so much more if we actually get on the phone and talk. Even if it's just for a few minutes, I can really help make you feel a lot more confident about the home buying process. It's pretty easy to get overwhelmed with some of this stuff or to have misconceptions about different things. Once I've talked to you, I can identify a few opportunities for you, or I can give you some advice or connect you with some people and resources that will really help you. I just honestly think I can help you feel so much better about the home buying process if you reach out to me early. Even if you still think you're a month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 months, a year away, it's totally fine. Reach out to me early and I can start helping you early. You're not wasting my time. I know how real estate is. It's something that is a little bit slow moving. Like, people make plans to buy homes well in advance or sell their homes well in advance. So I've got no problem helping you out in the meantime, even if you're not ready right now. So I definitely recommend talking to a mortgage broker, a lender, and the next person to talk to would be me, so I can help you as a real estate agent. So what could change in the market in the coming months? This is something that I think is important to consider if you're looking to buy this year, because if things do continue the way that they are, there is a substantial risk of prices going up, especially in the single family home market. So you're sort of gambling on, if you buy now versus waiting to see if the market cools down or if more inventory comes on the market. It's no easy answer. If things do continue the way they are, I do think that there's substantial risk that prices could go up. So there's always the possibility that if you wait even until later in the spring or next year, that it could cost you more to buy the same house. Now, obviously, nobody's got a crystal ball, and it could go the other way. If all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of properties that come on the market and the demand drops substantially, that could make it so that prices could come down later, or if at least there's more to choose from. You're kind of balancing between the two things. I do think that there's significant risk of prices going up, so I'd be a little nervous about delaying things, hoping that prices come down. I've talked about this in some of my other videos that you can check out. I'll be covering more of this later. But the whole point of me asking this question is well, what could change if you wait? Well, prices could go up, they could go down, they could stay the same. There could be more opportunities to look at different properties, or there could be less opportunities. So either way, you're taking a gamble, and I want people to realize the potential of it going either way. There's no perfect answer. So you've essentially got to decide what makes more sense for you. Would you rather do something now, know you can get something that you want, or at least close to what you want? You know what the prices are kind of right now or where they're going. If prices go down in the future, can you swallow that pill that maybe you paid a little bit more than you could have, kind of thing? Or if prices go up and you didn't buy now, and now the stuff that you wanted to buy is $10,000, $20,000, or maybe $30,000 more, depending on what price point you're looking at, how are you gonna feel in that scenario? Because those are kind of the two scenarios. You either buy now and prices go up, and then you feel like you made the right decision because you bought now, or you buy now and prices go down and now you feel like you overpaid. So obviously, it's anyone's guess which way it's gonna go. I can only see what's going on in the market right now, which I do see upward pressure on prices. That can definitely change. I don't see it changing in the spring market, but those are a couple things that you'll wanna kind of consider. It's not a slam dunk either way. You can't say for sure, but hopefully that was useful for you guys. Just sort of sharing some of my thoughts off the top of my head on what could happen in the market. All right, so to finish off, I just wanted to again mention how you can reach out to me if you're looking for some help buying or selling a home in the Edmonton region this year. Of course, you can always reach out by phone at 780-819-5508, text or call, or email trevor@trevortardif.com, or you can go to booktrevornow.com and set a time on my calendar. I'll make sure to put that on the screen for you. And thanks so much for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, smash that like button, then we'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.